first of all, we feel that this government has become a bigger threat than Corona, and let me explain how. When we left this, when our government tenure completed in 2018, 24% of the people in Pakistan were living below the poverty line. Today, economic experts are estimating that Pakistani citizens living below the poverty line are around 40 to 45%. So, how many people must have died from poverty?
So
How many
Rana Sahab,
people
you
have got.
thought that you thought that in you thought as a political party, as a very much a part of the opposition, the PMLN thought, okay, a lot more people are dying from they don't have food, so let's contribute by spreading corona. Is that the policy that the
No,
PMLN
no.
has?
Let me complete. Let me complete. So that is one part where unemployment is increasing, where poverty is increasing, and when we talk about Corona, all our jalsas or these conventions, we try to follow all the SOPs. We try to
Rana Sahab, how can you follow SOPs? I want to know from you. I want to know from the PMLN. I want to know from the PDM. Can anybody
I'll
give
tell
a
you.
sane answer to the
I'll tell
media?
you.
How can you follow SOPs when your leadership stands on the container and talks to the people? They can follow SOPs. They can put on a
I'll tell
mask.
you how.
They can wear an
I'll
N.
tell you
No,
how.
they can wear an
No, no.
N95 and talk to the people, but not those people who've come to listen to you on the jalsas. They cannot
I'll
follow
tell you
any
how the
SOPs.
SOPs. Now let me answer. I'll tell you
Yes,
how the
please,
SOPs can be. Let me answer. You put
please,
your question.
please.
We can make people follow SOPs if you give us permission to hold these jalsas. If
Right.
people don't, if police does not bit in charge on our workers, if they don't go for arrests, and if the police themselves are following SOPs. So, for example, in Multan, if we were allowed permission, then obviously there would have been an entrance point where we would be distributing masks to anyone who would be entering. We would be distributing
Okay.
sanitizers. So some sort of SOPs would be implemented. But that was not the case. So
Okay.
government, where on one side was claiming that we aren't going to let them do the jalsa because of corona. They had opened floodgates of police force around 2,000 to 4,000 who were not even following SOPs. And then
Okay.
with this confusion, and we could not even set up stage properly. Obviously, following SOPs was difficult. So now for Lahore, if they give us the permission, and if we know that there is not going to be any aggression towards the participants, then we can plan properly for the implementation of the SOPs.
Okay. I will come back to you, Rana Sahab. Fair enough. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. We'll be talking about a national dialogue, which is something which is always on principle agreed by all political parties across the board, but somehow never gets done. We never get around to it when we talk about national dialogue, keeping all the institutions on board. There has been talk about that. Various versions of the national dialogue have been discussed from time to time, but why does it not go forward?
No, no, we will deal with it properly. There is lack of governance. There is incompetence in every department, and they have failed to perform or bring any results. Now you were talking about a dialogue. How is it possible to have a dialogue when the Prime Minister says that the opposition is cursed? He says that I'm going to teach them a lesson. How is it possible? Is it the opposition which is not letting the dialogue happen? We supported the FATF bills. We were on board. And then they backstabbed us saying that they want an NRO. And then whenever there are talks, you say that, they are chores, they are looters. And that is the talk you keep on doing non-stop. So obviously there is going to be no dialogue, and the opposition is not willing to sit with
Rana
such
Saab,
a prime
why don't
minister.
you, in the interview that your finance minister, being called a very close ally of the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, was asked that why don't you go to Pakistan and then criticize the government and then conduct yourself and become a part of a constructive opposition, and he had no response. So when you
I'll tell you,
come.
my response is we have thousands of members in our party who are in Pakistan and leading this rally and this tehreek or this movement. There are thousands of members. There's
But Rana
Mariam
Sahab,
Nawaz. Yes.
unfortunately, these people who are going on national media to talk about this country are absconders at this time of the courts. You understand? And they're very much part of the leadership of the PMLN.
You have made them all absconders by
Okay.
putting fake cases on them. I mean,
Okay.
let me ask you a question. Why don't we have an investigation on Justice Siddiqui's remarks that he was swearing upon his mother that judgments are being forced upon, we are being given dictation to write judgments? Why don't we put an inquiry on that colonel who was moving around in the courts?